Good morning and welcome to the Dayton Department Head Meeting, Wednesday, July 13th, 2022, 11 a.m. The meeting ID number is A989526383525, passcode 777702. You may dial in to log in at 1-929-205-6099. This meeting is being recorded, and according to the agenda, I will call the order at this time. Mr. Pacheco?
Present.
Chairman Hull is present. Could we at this time stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, Mr. Mullen, would you give us an update on current affairs?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And we wanted to be fancy this meeting because like being fancy is what we like to do in town. So I do have a PowerPoint that just at the outset of the department head meeting, we wanted to discuss actually a few things. Number one, we have new DR School Superintendent Bill Rooney with us this morning. We wanted to welcome him in a minute, give him a chance to introduce himself to us. We wanted to discuss the end of the FY22 closeout process. We also want to discuss FY23 current year budget plans and expectations, as well as a 5-year capital plan overview, an overview on our restructured HR process, and then the staff resiliency workshops that we are planning and in the making mandatory for all employees to attend on either July 21st or July 28th. We also, when we get to the other departments as well, Mr. Chairman, we also want to provide an update on the website migration process that we have ongoing and that we'll be continuing to work with everybody on over the summer. So without further ado, if I could introduce Bill Rooney, the new DR school superintendent. He started last Friday out on the 1st, and he's already been a great addition. So Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Mullen. Thank you, Chairman Hull. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, especially the remote option, because I'm in Falmouth for the Superintendent's Institute, but I look forward to joining Mr. Baxter to represent the district at these meetings. I want to first of all congratulate the town on an outstanding firecracker festival. I was able to be there for a little while and posted some pictures with Chairman Hull on his birthday and a few other people that were there. And it was a wonderful communal event, and just gave me even more, gave my decision to come join you all even more credibility in my heart. I'm so incredibly excited about this opportunity. I appreciate the opportunity to have come to a selectman meeting about a month or so ago. And I'm looking forward to bringing the 2 Dayton principals and the high school principal to a future meeting, I think later in August, to just share how excited we are about our new leadership team in the district. Just as a point of information for everyone, we have 16 leadership positions in the Dayton-Rehoboth Regional School District. There are 4 of us at central office, Mr. Baxter, myself, the assistant superintendent, and the special ed department, the special ed director. And then at the 5 schools, we have a total of 12 additional positions. And of those 16 seats, on June 30th, at the end of the school year, there were obviously 16 people sitting in those seats. And then the next day, July 1st, 14 people either moved or changed seats. So we will have a tremendous opportunity to completely reinvent ourselves as a leadership team with 14 either new people or people that are new to their role for FY23. So I've been fortunate enough to I signed my contract back in February. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to have some transition opportunities and have felt very welcomed by everyone in the town of Dighton. Look forward to continuing to do the good work that we do, because our children are, in my opinion, are our greatest resource. And if we don't do what we need to do for them, then I think all generations will suffer from that. So I'm really excited about this work. There are some obvious issues that we have to deal with in the district. It's not all sunshine and roses, and I won't necessarily elaborate on those things, but I believe in being visible. I believe in being communicative, and I believe in being as transparent as possible. We have a brand new team. 14 out of 16 people are either new or sitting in different seats this year. So we're going to make mistakes. But we will own those mistakes, and we will work to improve and make this district the best that it can be. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Bill. Does anyone have any questions for Bill about anything before we move on?
Mr. Rooney, I had the opportunity to talk to the leadership team of the PTO in Dighton, and they are excited and looking forward to rolling up their sleeves and going to work with you in regards to the plans that you have for the Dighton Elementary and Dighton Middle School, whether it be educational or capital improvement.
Yes, Missy and her group for the Dighton PTO is a tremendous resource for us. I was glad to see that they were at the Firecracker Festival, and they've already had me to one of their meetings, and I plan to get to another one soon. To harness that wonderful volunteer spirit that they have.
And I would like to also add that having Mr. Baxter on your team is a very big plus. He has been very much appreciated by whether it be capital outlay, FinCom, or the Dighton Board of Selectmen for his professionalism and his transparency. So Mr. Baxter, welcome.
Yeah, he's a tremendous asset for our district. He really is. He's made me, he's taught me so much in a short period of time, and I'm really fortunate to have him.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rooney and Rob as well. We appreciate you joining us this morning. So I'm just gonna start going over the updates that we have for everyone this morning. We are now in the second week of the FY22 year-end closeout process. And if you have not, if you're not yet submitted an FY22 encumbrance, we need them now. The town accountant early May sent out an end of the year overview, with the dates and deadlines. To be honest with you, there are some departments that have been adhering to those deadlines, and there's frankly been other departments that have not. So if you have not yet submitted an encumbrance on any FY22 issue, we need them now. And if we have to go to the special town meeting on any FY22 unpaid bill that could have been planned for now, we will be following up. We need to get better on all of this. We also on a related note, we will be wrapping up the year-end transfer process at tonight's Board of Selectmen meeting. We did, even though about 2 weeks ago now, we thought we were actually ahead of all the transfer requests that had to be done at year end. There were a half a dozen additional transfer requests that we had to have a special FinCom meeting on Monday night for. And now we have additional transfers going to the BOS tonight as well. So we're getting, thankfully, we've had the ability to get in front of all those before the July 15th deadline. So we don't have any issues with our recap. But going forward, and especially into FY23, we really do request that department heads, as the heads of the department, do a better job managing your budgets throughout the entire fiscal year. We have had, as we know, in FY20 and FY21, 2 years of budget freezes. We did this year have most departments fully utilize their budgets, which was expected after 2 years of not, 2 years of really not being able to do a lot. So that is okay. We expected it. But as we close out FY22, we know that it's going to have an impact on free cash. So I just wanted to go over that relating to FY22. As we move forward in FY23, as I just mentioned, we are going to be placing much more accountability on department. We are going to be placing much more accountability on the department heads to know where they are in their budget at all times. In all purchases and invoices should be going to the department head for approval, so they know where they're at as well. If a department at any point throughout the fiscal year becomes aware of the need for a transfer, they need to let the town administrator and the town accountant know immediately. And it's just really important. It's really important that this happens. So then we have the ability to share that information with the Board of Selectmen. With the FinCom to plan and set expectations. It will be heading forward the responsibility of the town administrator and the town accountant together with the department head to identify the path forward to addressing those transfers. I think up until now we have let departments try to figure that out for themselves. But we want to have a coordinated, streamlined approach to doing that in the future. So that is the FY22 and FY23 budget updates. Does anyone have any issues or questions with that? Anyone on Zoom? Okay. Last September, last September, as we may know, we launched our capital planning process, which we launched for the FY23 budget year and budget planning process, in which when we went to the annual town meeting in June, we had an agreed upon list of priorities that we would move to pursue. The issue is we had a great kickoff process for FY23, but we had a great we had a great process for FY23, but we really didn't get beyond FY23. Like we really want to plan out our capital in a 5-year process. So like the issue is, you can see just actually scrolling down the fire department, just as an example. 1 second. They had priorities that took us from FY23 to FY27 with highs and valleys in between. Like on the other hand, the highway department really submitted, just as an example, not a criticism, they actually submitted all their priorities for FY23 and 24. Like we need information for FY23, 24, but also at this point up until FY28 as well, so we can really have a real 5-year plan here. Beginning today, we're kicking off the FY24 capital plan process, and like, hold on a second, just having a little technological difficulties. I want to go down. Where we ask for updated submissions to be due and planned for and in by September 23rd of 22, which gives everybody about just shy of 2.5 months to really get this done. So we can have those 5-year priorities. So this means any road, bridge, culvert, and any other infrastructure needs, we need to be identifying those. We need to be identifying technology needs. We need to be identifying and scheduling building maintenance needs. We need to identify and schedule vehicle and equipment needs, and not just based on their age, but based not just based on the age, but of the inventory as it relates to all departments' inventory, the mileage, the cost of repairs, and a whole bunch of other things that we can use to really inform the process. We also one of the really good things we had. One of the really good things we had in the FY23 capital plan were the DR capital priorities as well. We did recommend and town meeting approved $150,000 for the school feasibility study at the campus down the road. Like, and it's critical that DR continue to be at the table, which we know they will going forward. And then any other town land improvements you want to plan for as well. We're kicking off the FY24 to 28 process now, and they're asking everything to be in by September 23rd. Does anyone have any questions on any of that? I'm hearing none. We will move in we will move into an overview on the restructured HR process, which actually took effect at the beginning of the fiscal year. Just bear with me, I'm having mouse issues again. The start of FY23 means the beginning means the beginning of a more streamlined HR process. That Karen Brady, who's now the executive assistant to the board and the town administrator, but also the human resources coordinator for the town, based on the independent audit recommendations and the need to streamline these functions as well. So if we have a handout, does everybody have a handout?
Everybody need it?
All right. So, the overview and what we're working to do is provide in the handout. But really it aims to strengthen the confidential HR function through Karen and through the town administrator's office. From here forward, we require that all FMLA requests and documents come through Karen. We also want all workers' comp and 111F documents and injury reports to go through Karen as well within the timeframes. And all of this, even if it's for even something that happened to an employee that is very, very minor, we need to know about it so we can submit it. So if in 3 months or 3 years down the road we have record of it. There have been in the last few months a few issues where a department has really just sat on those, has sat on that information in those reports, and that can't happen. We need to know about it so we can file it. But there'll be no changes to the health insurance benefits administration, to deductions, the payroll processing. That will all continue to go through the treasurer collector's office by the statute. Does anyone have any questions on that process? Okay. Now for the fun part. I'm going to turn it over to Karen on this to give an overview on the staff suite.
Yep. So basically, based on recent events in our lives and today's social climate, we thought it was important to just take a step back and hit the reset button with regards to taking care of our physical and mental health. So we'll be hosting 2 training seminars, group training seminars with our employee assistance providers called Perspectives, and they will focus on pandemic fatigue and stress and resiliency. They'll take place in one seminar from 1:30 to 3 and on July 21st and July 28th to try to accommodate everyone's schedule. The good news is it will wrap up with an ice cream social on July 28th at 3 o'clock, so everyone can attend that. So we're asking you to just pick a date and try to attend the seminar. We realize that it might be an issue for police and fire and highway, so we'll have a conversation to see if we can get that, get them to attend. But an email will go out later today, just summarizing what I just said. And hopefully everybody will be able to schedule it in.
Does anyone have any question? We will try to have an ice cream truck so we won't have to worry about the Board of Health requirements. Nothing against the Board of Health, but it's easy to get an ice cream truck for those type of things.
Ice cream trucks still need to meet.
Oh, yeah, but it does streamline the process, and plus, so it's my favorite ice cream are screwballs. Obviously,
We
yeah.
should have those.
So. They are. So in the piece of gum at the bottom, as long as I don't rip out another cap, we're good. But, Jim?
I'm seeing this seminar.
But there'll be actually like a representative and a facilitator, from EAP. So yeah, we thought it was important to have an independent person really facilitating that. Someone who's not me, not one of us, but an outside person. Anyone have any questions on any of that? Okay, so that is all. That is all I have. I know we did have like a website update from Leanne whenever you want to call Leanne, Mr. Chairman, but that's all I got for today.
Thank you very much. Before we go to the department head reports, I would like to add that Mr. Mullen has the full support of the Board of Selectmen on the issue of department budget accountability. There have been some issues over the last 2 years that aren't going to be accepted anymore, and people are going to be held accountable. Thank you. Mrs. Schechter?
Hi,
Good morning.
how are you?
Good, thank you. And how are things in the assessor's office?
We're really plugging away. We're working hard on inputting any growth that we have, since we have until the end of the week. We are going to be getting near map, possibly today or tomorrow. So that's going to be great for us, being able to find all those hidden sheds and pools and everything. And we're working with our consultant on reevaluating property values. So that's where we stand right now. Any questions or?
In regards to the pools and sheds, will letters be sent out to the homeowners, or how will they be assessing?
They're just going to be added to their property. If we don't have them already on their property, they might have not pulled a permit, and that's why we don't have it. So they will be getting taxed accordingly to what is, in their property.
I understand, but how will the Board of Assessors office be determining the accuracy of your data?
Well, with near map, we can see pretty much when the structure was implemented. They would, I wouldn't say we would need to send them information. They should have been taxed right along. But that mapping system is an aerial, and we can go back 10 years or more on some of them. So we could see when it was when it was constructed and just go from there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Schechter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Heather, how are things in the Dayton Highway Department?
Good, busy, thanks. All right. We're just starting our spring cleanup. I know it's a little late. Residents have been voicing their concerns over the delay, but we are currently working on it with the 2 street sweepers, and the forestry truck is finally in use. Thank you for that, Town of Dayton. The basins are in the process of being cleaned by RJ Gabriel Construction. And the painted street lines are finished, but the crosswalks are near completion. And that's about it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Morning, Mr. Gale. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So first things first, I want to let everybody know that the MOD grant that we were diligently working on is, except for a couple of odds and ends and the completion of the website, has now been closed out and has been submitted back thanks to the hard work of several people. Kudos especially to town administrator and his executive assistant for all the hard work they did in the last week to get the reports in and reconcile all the figures and everything for the Mass Office of Disability. As we all know, there are several projects in town that we've accomplished and I think did it very, very well, and actually came in slightly under budget, which was even more remarkable. That's also thanks to the in-kind work that town departments provided and all the other resources of town. So I thank everybody who's been involved in that enormously. I was at the firecracker event with a table. It was great to have residents come up and ask about disability matters and issues and have conversation with people as well. I have a few other things on my radar over the next few weeks, which involve some of our streets and sidewalks as well in town. And we'll be working with the school department on the new elementary playground to assure accessibility for that as well. As you all know, our Parks and Rec coordinator, Kevin Smith Jr. will be starting the North Dayton playground soon for accessibility. Very proud to have Kevin doing that. I think that'll be a great asset to the town. And I will also be reaching out to work with the school department on the physical plant of the schools and things that can be done on long-term and capital expenditure, as well as looking at some of the programmatic aspects that cross different aspects of persons with disability, from educational programs and workshops that they would like to have brought in to teaching parents about understanding IEPs and screening processes. So there's a lot going on. It seems to always take on a life of its own, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the summer and communicating and meeting different people in town regarding ADA issues.
Mr. Gale, thank you. Before I continue, does Mr. Rooney or Mr. Baxter have anything to add in regards to that playground at the elementary school?
Mr. Rooney and I just met each other this past week, so we haven't had a chance to sit down and have any conversation, nor have I had any conversation or outreach with Mr. Baxter yet, but I'm expecting all of that to happen within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you. Ms. Schechter, do you have a question?
Oh, no, that's a hint.
Okay,
No.
thank you. Thank you. I saw a hand raised, but Mr. Mullen has clarified that was on his end. Morning, Leanne. Do you have anything for the department heads?
Yep,
Message?
I'm gonna do a website overview. On June 9th, we had a stakeholder presentation. Mike Jacoby, the consultant from Civic Plus, did a Zoom meeting with about 12 of us, which actually was a good turnout. So I thank everybody that did attend that meeting. And what he did was basically give an overview of what to expect during the transition from Revised to Civic Plus, and kind of a glimpse into what we will be doing once we have Civic Plus and how it's going to work, how user-friendly it is, and what we will be able to do with it for each department, committee, commission. He did explain there's a few very important dates coming up, and the big one is July 22nd, which is just really about a week away. What we need to do is, I'm hoping that the departments, committees, commissions, that everybody gets a chance to look at their page on the website and really review it, make sure that what is on there is accurate, it's current. There aren't duplicates of anything out there, because what's going to happen is on July 22nd, that's the cutoff, where they will then take anything that we have and migrate it over to the new website that they are making right now as we speak. So what happens then is, from that period of time until we are trained in early September, anything we put on the website, we need to mark down, we need to make note of it, because it will not go over to the new site. They are only taking everything from July 22nd. So that whole period of time in August, when we're adding things to the website, I don't know, if somebody adds a document or whatever, you have to make note of anything that is added, because when the new website comes, it will not be there, and we will have to then upload it at that time. So I'm just hoping that everybody really gets a chance to go and look at each page. I'm looking at each page as well. If anybody has any issues, if they can't make changes to their page for whatever reason, feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to make any changes for you. The big date after that is the training on the 7th and the 8th. There will be half-day training sessions. We need to figure out how many people. We'll be able to train about 10 people at a time, 8 to 10 people. I still need to discuss with Civic Plus exactly how that's going to go. That hasn't been hammered out exactly yet, but just if everybody could write down the 7th and the 8th of September, because those are going to be key training dates. So we're hoping that people will be here. After that, from September 9th to the 19th, we prepare for the launch. And what that means is that we make any changes that we know, the things that we need to add from August that were not added, and that now's the time to add it. Any changes you want to make to the website, the new website, now's the time to do it. Before it launches on September 20th, it will go live. Does anybody have any questions?
Actually, Ms. Kerwin, I do.
Mm-hmm.
This training, will it be mandatory?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's up to Mike and the Board of Selectmen. I'm hoping that each department will have one person that is able to go onto the website and be able to work within their own page and do the basic things. As far as committees and commissions, it's a little tougher there because these are people that volunteer and you can't really make anybody do it. I know there are some who have called me and contacted me already, like Rafa, who is interested in learning. So that's great, but I think that's going to be hammered out with Mike and the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you. Now, will you be sending a letter out to all the commissions and groups that are affiliated with the town?
I did send out an email letting everybody know, this was a while back, about the July 22nd cutoff, and that anybody that could do anything on their pages were more than welcome to make any changes that were necessary. In the meantime, I'm making changes to pages up until the 22nd. And then after that, once I know from Civic Plus what our exact plan is for training, then I will let everybody know what that is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions on the website? On any of the website particulars, this is really gonna be an all hands on deck process, and we just wanna make sure we have everyone in the loop. Good.
Thank you. This is Easter Day. How are things, planning board and ZBA? Oh, I'm sure.
We have a meeting in Stonegate, ZBA tonight. One is for Stonegate, they're doing a request for a modification to their 40B special permit, comprehensive permit. And then we also have Stony Bridge, which is a 40B comprehensive permit. They're looking to start the process to wrap it up and close that out. So they're just starting it very preliminary. So they're meeting with the developer tonight, and some of the trustees of the homeowners association to start that process. So planning's pretty busy. We have a meeting next week. Pretty full agenda. We're supposed to have Forest Hills. Haven't heard anything, so I'm not sure where we're moving on that. We have Hunter's Hill, which they requested a modification to their subdivision. We have a site plan review for 1050 William Street, which is the Reed's Farm. They are looking to do a gym inside the building.
Indoor recreation.
Indoor recreation, thank you. Sorry, that's a more formal term, thank you.
So they're doing it for me?
What's that? In between here. Yeah.
I heard they're selling screwballs too.
Yeah. Ice cream truck. And then we're just doing wrapping some things up for the Middle Street and Tremont Street solar, so that they can start, getting that underway. And then, just some clarification on Wellington Neighbors Homeowners Association Trust. They're requesting an amendment so they can incorporate the solar, lights that installed, and they don't fall under the electric light district, so. Pretty much it. We do have, on a personal level, I think most of you know, I have I work for an attorney out in Framingham. And he actually is looking to retire in a year. And in doing that, he has numerous files being rid of. And he has offered to the town, they are the 5 or 6 door vertical.
Horizontal.
We go this way.
Horizontal.
Wow.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. I mean, the copy. He has, right now, I'm in the process of doing some archiving and whatnot for him. He has 4 file cabinets that he has available to the town, that he's willing to donate at no cost. So if anyone is looking to get rid of those wonderful single file cabinets, and would like some, just let me know, and Ben and I will be more than happy to ship them down here. And they're the putty color, if you're interested in that. And I do anticipate some more office furniture coming along as we go along. But I just wanted to extend, he would be more than happy just to donate it to the town, just wants to get rid of it. Not interested in anywhere else. He doesn't want to do the work, so. Just throwing that out there for anyone who needs some file cabinets. That's all I have.
Thank you. I do have a question. Does the town have a policy in regards to developers or builders? If they're not up to date in their taxes, are we allowing them special permits? Are we allowing them modifications on plans? If
And they do a request for a modification?
correct. So the town doesn't have a policy, once your bills are done, once your tax bill has been paid, we'll deal with you on your issue. We do.
That's actually a mass general law that's under your general bylaws. That's a town. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a general, that's under one of our general bylaws, and even the building department cannot accept a permit unless your taxes are paid up to date. So no, and which is one of the issues that we have with Stonegate, is my board will not hear that until their taxes are paid to date.
Thank you. That's good to hear.
I don't have the general bylaws with me right now, but it is one of the general bylaws that was accepted by the town many years ago.
Thank you very much.
So no, we do not.
Mrs. Goulart, on the issue of taxes and the assessors and stormwater.
Well, I'll just follow up on what Mrs. Easterday just said. I attended 2 previous ZBA meetings because the first one, there was a mention of taxes owed by Stonegate Landing. And as a follow-up to that, Mrs. Scheffner, Mrs. Mello, and Mr. Reynolds, we all met yesterday, and I have prepared a report in a letter form that will go to the ZBA tonight, explaining what we have found so far. The answer is yes. We know that February, May of this year have not been paid. We have been able to reconcile some of the payments that we've got canceled checks for, but there is still work to be done. And obviously, this work has to be worked in with the regular operation of the department, so we can't just drop everything and do this. So the ZBA will have their answer. It's the same answer for each meeting. Yes, there are taxes owed. So that's the story of Stonegate. On other matters, the Stormwater Committee has been following complaints about illegal filling of the railroad bed that runs between County and Pleasant Streets. The last site visit was completed, and there's going to be a letter sent to that individual about what has to be removed. That's the, I'd say it's the easiest case to deal with. We have 4 in total. But the cleanup for that individual is not going to be as lengthy as the others or as costly. I'll leave it at that. I just want to say, I don't know if anyone's already said this, Firecracker Day was wonderful. I was able to give out lots of educational stuff. Fortunately, I had a table right next to police and fire, which attracted all the children. And I was giving out the Dyken discs, or AKA Frisbees, materials. But I think I'm guessing I gave out close to 300 of those, plus the bags that we have and the other I'll call it more grown-up educational. Mr. Smith and his group did an excellent job. Really, at least from where I was, there was a very good response. We are following up on some damage that was done to a town stormwater system adjacent to 520 Marion. And I'm going to be in touch with Mr. Mullen about the next step, because the contractor and the concrete company have not responded to letters that were sent to them about the damage. So I think the town is going to have to take the next step, and I will be in touch with Mr. Mullen so that he knows what we've done and what needs to be done, because there's substantial damage done to that stormwater management system, and Mr. Ferry wants it repaired. And if he has to do it, there's still costs involved, which the letters clearly stated will be passed on to the concrete truck that drove over it and got stuck in it, and then also the contractor who was doing the work on the property there. So, again, I'll follow that up with the letter that went out, and I will share that with Mr. Mullen, and I'm sure he'll share it with the board, so you know what happened.
Now, you mentioned the words contractor and cement, so I would assume that there is a project going on.
Only just a single family, Mr.
That's okay, but
Yeah,
that comes under the domain of the building commissioner.
Yes, there's an adjacent property that is putting an addition on, and the concrete company, or the driver, the truck particularly, made the mistake of thinking a very large field next to the house was a good place to drive through to get access to the backyard. And in doing so, he drove over our stormwater construction. And Mrs. Goulart's correct, they caused a lot of damage.
Has that project been completed?
No.
So is it inappropriate for the building commissioner to stop the project? Maybe that'll get their attention.
Unfortunately not. The two are not related. So, but the contractor has also received that same letter, because the contractor was the one who hired the concrete company. So the stormwater committee has done its job in notifying the responsible parties.
Thank you.
so it's a joint effort between stormwater and obviously Mr. Aguirre serves on that committee, but it'll be passed on to Mr. Mullen shortly.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Of those sites that I mentioned on County Street, 2371, Conservation Commission is also involved with the illegal filling of that railroad bed. So Stormwater is working with Concom, but Concom has taken the lead on that because of the nature of what problems have been caused. But Concom brought in two representatives from DEP who did an inspection. And we expect there's going to be a report issued with what has to be done. But we were not getting cooperation from the property owners, so that's why Concom contacted DEP. So that's something that will be coming soon, I think. I think I have good news about Brook Street Solar.
Good.
And this could have been resolved last summer, a year ago. Hold up with Brook Street Solar as far as completion and going online is not per se the batteries. They were told, set that aside, let's get this thing up and running and get it online, producing electricity. The holdup has been that the two drainage basins, the infiltration, since they were installed. So the last site visit, Mr. Pilling and also Mr. Aguirre, before he left the site, saw that the basins, the biggest one was dug up, and the problem was, instead of being filled with permeable material, they filled it up with stump grindings and good stuff like that, and then they completed it, and it's never going to break. All of this time, we were told it had silting and everything else. Well, you know, we may be out in the country, but we're not Hicks, you know, but anyhow. After going back and forth, they submitted another plan, which would convert the infiltration basins into retention basins, which means, you know, Smoke would want to do indictment. And there was a pipe coming out of it, and in reviewing the plans, there were real concerns about the volume of water that would be exiting instead of going into the ground. So I was contacted by Mr. Hafez, requesting another site visit, and at the last stormwater committee meeting, the committee denied the request because we don't see any benefit in that. He called me that night, and I told him what had happened, and I followed up with an email. He has since followed up with an email, and I think the good news is, the last email I got from him was that they are going back to the original plan that was approved, dig up the basins, remove the junk, and construct them according to the approved plans. Now, we told them also, because at the meeting, we didn't accept the plan that was revised, because we considered it a major change, and we'd have to go back to the planning board and go through the process again. And which means public hearing and all of that. So I think the action of the stormwater committee denying another site visit and reminding them that this is not something that we would approve because it needs to go to planning. I think that is what has caused them to say, okay, we'll dig it up and we'll build it correctly, which is what we told them last summer. But anyhow, fingers crossed, this is going to happen. He's supposed to get in touch with Mr. Pilling, and I suggested that their engineer get in touch with Mr. Aguirre, because they are the two who know those plans, and obviously, on a technical standpoint, that's their turf. So hopefully.
Oh, thank you.
As far as the two solar farms on William Street, uniting Rougeau property, they have made the corrections that were required as far as the wetlands violations, the vernal pool and all that. They're waiting for the pool to dry up so that they can get the silt out of it that ended up in it. And this fall, I believe there will be some plantings, because this is the wrong time of year to plant native plants there. But that project is moving ahead with tree clearing. They submitted a modification for the construction entrance and exit pads to remove the mud and whatever from the tires of the vehicles before they exit. That was approved. So that one is moving ahead. They requested that they be allowed to work until 7 p.m. And what I said to them was 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. are the allowable hours, but that also includes any deliveries or services. We don't want the man who cleans porta johns turning up at 6 a.m. or at night. So they understood that, so hopefully that's all taken care of. Tremont Middle Street Solar, we're just getting the updates on that. And the last item is, as we did last year, we have ordered 2023 calendars as our educational materials and stormwater, and we will be giving those out at the Lights On event in December, because it was very well received. So that will be our last event this calendar year. That's all moving along very well.
Regarding the calendars, do you usually have some left over at the end of the year? Or did you have some left over?
Very few.
Okay.
And so we had some in different offices. As a matter of fact, I think it was in May, I found 5 and I put them in the post offices.
Oh,
They were gone the next day.
I just wonder if some of the area businesses, you could leave some with them too.
Yeah, we didn't have enough to hit all the businesses, so I just focused on the 2 post offices. So I wasn't picking and choosing, one business over another. But yeah, we only ordered 500, and that's what we ordered this year. And we were able to order them with the, I think, because once the July kicks in, the price goes up, as we all know. Everything goes up. Yeah, fortunately, it was, as I say, it was very well received. And pictures will be national parks, different national parks from Canada that was printed last year.
Thank you very much. Mr. Aguirre, Building Commissioner.
Yes. I had many things, but I'm gonna whittle it down to 2. First, I want everyone to know that the selectmen, the administrator, and I all appreciate your patience and sacrifice for all the projects that are going on. I assure you, even if you don't see people working, many are working behind the scenes, and we're also working to hold people accountable who are hired to do certain things. So I want to thank everyone, and please tell your employees the same. The second thing is that I think something in this town goes somewhat unnoticed at times, and I've been here for on the past few weekends on a few emergencies, and I want to thank the police and fire department for all the work that they do. We've had a couple of major fires as of recent, and one in particular could have been much worse than it was. So the first responders who were there in a matter of minutes and fought really hard to save people's personal property, I just want to thank you all for that. So I think we take them for granted at times. We don't realize how much we rely on them, but when I can show up and not have to take people from their home because of the efforts of public safety, that's a huge relief off my back. So I want to thank everyone. It's not always the case. Sometimes I have to make the difficult decision, but I just want to thank you and fire department for what they do.
No, thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Mello, Board of Health.
So we're going to be welcoming our new member to our meeting tomorrow night. Charlene, off the top of my head.
On a fun.
Yes, I was like, it was
On a fun.
Thank you that we brought her on, and now she's finally getting to participate. I attend a weekly grant meeting on the excellence grant that we have received. From that grant, we have received 20 cases of COVID tests that we're working to figure out how we're going to give these out. I'm looking to work with other departments to do so. I've already reached out to other town nurses to see what they did. We're pretty much on the same page of what I thought we would go about doing. So I've been working with Mike on that. In regards to that grant, we're still in the beginning stages. Right now, we're looking to put together a job description for a grant coordinator, and from there, it can kind of take off more. Some type of committee so that everyone will have somebody on board of what we're going to do with all that money in regards to that. Just a quick COVID report. It's been pretty stable, about 4 cases coming into Maven in a week. Obviously, like I keep saying, people are testing at home. I don't know what they're doing at home. This is just what's getting reported through the state. Last meeting, I had mentioned that I was going to go to Lincoln Village and do an education session on safety. I did that. That was great. I really enjoyed working with Anne over there. She's fabulous. reached out to the Council on Aging last week in regards to doing like a small write-up in the Strawberry Vine Monthly. We'll see how that goes. I'm not the best writer. It should be interesting. At least it will give everyone a laugh. So I went to the Firecrackers Festival, introduced myself to folks. It does bring me to my asking a question in regards to Facebook. If there could be a post about who I am and what I do, just because nobody knows who I am and what I do, and I call folks and I ask them very personal questions. And at the Firecracker Festival, everyone was like, well, what school do you work at? I don't work at one of the schools. And then the kids were like, well, do you know the school nurses? And I'm like, yes, I do. Then we get back to the story at hand. So if that would be great, so that when I'm calling folks, that they feel confident that I am somebody that's with the town, and I'm calling and asking creepy questions.
We do have to go through a pretty extensive Facebook posting process, but I'm sure we can.
Oh, I appreciate it. Can you send me in? Sorry.
Yeah.
Lastly, just quickly, I'll touch on monkeypox. I've been monitoring it in the state. We're up to 13 cases, 6 additional cases last week. I'm not terribly concerned about it, but I am monitoring it because Massachusetts is the state that's being affected. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Chief McDonald.
Good morning, good afternoon. Just want to make a comment on Nancy, talking about the solar project up on Main Street. That company has been hiring details here and there. I believe they've been pretty good with that. We haven't had any complaints of any problems over there right now, but it's been good so far. So I just want to let you guys know that it's been good with those guys right there. Second, we just had a officer just graduated from the Randolph Police Academy, Julia Horton. She now is working on training. She works 2 8-to-4s and 2 4 to midnights, and a great addition to our department. Now we have 2 full-time females in there, which is fantastic. It's very good. Second, Comfort Dog. That's coming soon. We made a trip to New Hampshire. Myself, Lieutenant Cronin, Patrolman Bennett, and Patrolman Hathaway, SRO. Went and saw the dog. Great. It's going to be coming here probably within another week or 2. Either we're going to go get it or the owners are going to bring it to us. I don't know what yet the plan is, but that's what's going to happen. So when that arrives, we'd love to have the Board of Selectmen, Town Administrator at the station when it does arrive. I think it'd be great if you guys are there. I think that would be fantastic. So it's going good with that. Lastly, we're doing the Junior Police Academy this week and next week. The kids are in there. There's 13 kids in the class. Right now, the guys that are doing the teaching is Patrolman Hathaway, Patrolman Ferrera, Detective Richards, Patrolman Bennett, and Patrolman Dunny. Actually, Jimmy is the, what do you call him, the drill instructor. So he's got these kids in line. The first day he had them in line. Every morning they come in, they see you, they salute you, good morning, sir. And he's just got them going, and the kids love it right now. They're doing different things during the week. They'll be here next week, and then they're gonna do another 2-week class sometime in August. I'm not sure when, but if you, Board of Selectmen, Town Administrator, if you guys want to stop at the station, see how it's going, and see what it looks like, you're more than welcome. So it's going good, though. I'm glad they're doing it. It's great they're doing this.
Just really quick, Chief, I want to congratulate you when you, on leaving Dayton and going to New Hampshire.
Okay, I didn't drive it. Lieutenant did, so it was good. But no, it's going good there, and you guys are more than welcome to come down. And I'll give you a date when that dog is going to arrive, so if it can be that, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Digits, will you be speaking on behalf of conservation?
First of all, I'd like to say that Lisa has been a valuable addition to the commission. Her knowledge and expertise of the field has been terrific. She's also so much younger than us seniors to go into the field and do all the monitoring. Okay, we've had several ongoing projects that we've been viewing, Hunters Hill and the Forest Street project. Those are still continuing. Several enforcement orders that we've been working on, one of which Nancy talked about. Everything is moving well, and one of the items that we recently did was to purchase signs. Here is one of them that we have. These signs will be going on conservation land, and others will be going, they'll be up for sale to contractors for the no-touch zone to protect the wetlands that are on people's properties, so that they will know when they buy the property that there is a limit to what they can deal with.
Oh, that's excellent. Because there've been some people, I honestly think, that have made mistakes that they really didn't know the law.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Thank you. Ms. Caledonia, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Jim, for the compliments. I appreciate it.
Sentiment is also felt by the Board of Selectmen as well. Thank you for what you do, Lisa. Mr. Reynolds.
Yes, sir, thank you. The preliminary tax bills have gone out with a due date of 8/1. We are working on currently closing out the June cash, and we anticipate our consultant or Bishop will be doing this shortly to assist with the closeout as well. We've got a few priorities in our office that we're going to be looking at tackling over the course of the remainder of this calendar year. Some of our major priorities are exploring payroll provider upgrades. We've got the quote, which I am going to be sharing at the next financial management team meeting tomorrow. So there'll be further information forthcoming there. Additionally, we are working on procuring vendor quotes for point of sale for credit and debit card transactions, so people can pay their property and excise tax with a card. And I'm going to be away at a 4-day training event in Amherst for the Massachusetts Municipal Collective Creditor Association on the dates of 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's a Tuesday through Friday in August. I don't want to talk out of school yet, but I am coordinating to see if we can get someone to fill in the office so that we can get additional coverage and working to explore our retirement because collective area might be willing to come in for day or two. And the biggest priority for our office over the next several months, I'm hoping to have an update just based on the ponderous speed that my court moved at probably in October, is really sitting down to critically examine our tax title. Town Dyke approximately has $1.7 million in tax title right now. Just represents to me an extraordinary amount. Our on tax title payment arrangements, truthfully, are not to pay the interest level with all these debt in a period of time. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to at the August training is learning more about how land court works and changing some of these payment arrangements to get people to settle up in a reasonable amount of time, or if we're just kind of spinning wheels, then we may have to explore moving towards a solution on those. Those are some of our larger priorities over the next couple of months that I hope to be continuing revisiting updates on. And then lastly, to piggyback off of the ZBA meeting today for Stonegate, our office has provided some relevant information to Mrs. Kubar, which will pertain to that. And that's currently what we've got.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pacheco.
All right, our annual street list books are in print, and we should get them any day now. We have a new vendor this year with a lot more information in the street list books, just for questions that we get in our office a lot. So I think they'll be more user friendly, and I think I'm excited to see them. Thursday, so tomorrow, we're gonna be sending notices to dog owners who are delinquent. We have approximately 800 dogs that we know about, not licensed, and we have 363 dogs so far that we have licensed. We had a little over 1,100 last year, so we know we have some work to do there. And we have a training day on July 26th for our election workers. We invited the towns of Berkeley, Rehoboth, Somerset, and Swansea. We're at almost 70 people at this point, so we're excited about getting some election worker training for the primary that's coming up and the Votes Act. There's some changes in the election law, so we all need to brush up on that. And that's all I have.
I do have a question regarding the street list books. Are those just for the town hall or are they available to the public?
They're available to the public for purchase for $10 a book.
$10?
Dayton officials who work for the town or on the board or committee, we don't charge for. That's a number of the public.
Would you, I know it's kind of short notice, would you either this meeting, which is tonight, or in 2 weeks, could you write up a little blurb so we could announce it at the Board of Selectmen meeting?
Absolutely.
Just to let people know. I know businesses, a lot of times, realtors, they like to get access to that kind of information to reach out to people.
Yes, I think it's still not a well-known fact about the street list book, so I think I'm
I know my father was a contractor and the towns that he worked in, Dayton and taught, it was important.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Laris. Hi.
We've started summer reading and we had our yesterday. That was story together here. We have Flying High Dogs coming back on Saturday the 23rd, right up here. We have salsa dancing class in a few weeks. That's on 6th. We're going to be rescheduling our Reiki class. We had an illness unexpectedly, and we have an improv class between 7:30. Lori has a lot going on in downstairs at Town Hall. So I highly recommend looking at the pet wall and voting for your favorite pet, or 2 or 3 or 4, because they're all really great. And just have a lot going on. And I'm wondering, Chief, if we could have a visit with the comfort dog to introduce.
Sure. No problem, yeah. That will. So it's not.
Maybe you can make it to the wall.
Yeah, they do.
We're gonna name it. 90 people set names. I'll name the name.
Make sure you get it licensed.
Get back. I'm not gonna do that, so they'll remember me, but I.
I can remember you all right, Chief.
Oh, I know you will. Yeah, no problem, that works.
Mr. Tavares, I met the other night a fine young man by the name of Mason, who does volunteer work for the library. At the end of this meeting, could I talk to you about Mason, something I'm thinking about doing? Thank you. Mrs. Powell, good morning.
Good morning.
How did
everybody.
How did the Quinn visit go? It was
Very good. I did not have a big turnout, but it was very informative. It always is, for myself. Very informative presentation. I'd like to thank the chief and the lieutenant for coming, and we did have one Dayton resident who came. But he's a nice gentleman, and it's always a pleasure when he comes. I don't know really. So I want to start off by saying that I'm very excited that we're almost done with our hiring process, because as you know, I'm the only at the Council on Aging. So I've been by myself and I've moved with the help of the hiring. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed, so I'm glad that the hiring process has come to recommendations for the 3 positions that we'll be hiring. And so I'm looking forward to that and to moving forward with trying to opening up the daycare. This month, we have, so I've actually all moved in, that there is a couple of glitches, we don't have telephone lines yet in the office that the COA moved into. We just have to tie into what's already there in the business. I had such a great time at the Firecracker Festival. I bumped into a lot of old friends and made some new ones, and the music was great. I want to know who that DJ was. And also, I made some contacts for volunteers and had a couple of people sign up for the COA. And let me move on to the presentations. I do have an art class planned this month, which is a big hit. People really want to do art. So that's going very, the numbers are going. I had an elder dental, not many people showed up for that. We also, our support group was a success last month, and hopefully this month it will be also. We have a presentation on caption call presentations for free telephones for people who have a hard hearing. There's a program funded through our government and the state that provides caption calling telephones. We also have a presentation being done by Charm Medical Supply Company. Fitness classes continue to be held, even though it's hot. We have the AC for those that don't want to do it outside. Tai Chi is usually held outdoors. They like to do. There's more, but I'm done.
Oh, thank you very much. Regarding today, did anyone take any pictures?
Yes, we did.
Could you send them along to Mr. Mullen so we could?
It's already on Facebook.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful. Thank
Next is a public health nurse.
Thank you. Unless anyone has any questions?
So one thing I just want to remind everyone, by next Tuesday, the town accountant's last day is next Tuesday, the 19th, which, I think I speak for all of us, is something that we're not looking forward to. We are at the beginning of a hiring process. The job has been posted, and probably by the end of next week, we'll begin to set up interviews. At this point, it is very likely that we'll have to, and we're already planning and thinking about transition services as well. So we don't really miss a beat. But going back to how we began, the budget management piece especially, without having a dedicated town accountant, if everyone can just be very mindful and diligent about those efforts. I know the last 3 to 4 years, we have had turnover after turnover with that town accountant position. And I thought, and I was very optimistic that we would be in a place for the foreseeable future, where we would have someone in Janelle would be here longer. But as we know, she's incredible, and the opportunity that just presented itself to her, is amazing. It's utterly amazing for her. We wish her every ounce of luck. But there will be yet another transition which we are anticipating, we're planning for, and we'll have to get through. And so I just ask for everyone's patience, their diligence, as we move forward through what will probably take us through the end of the summer, at least there. So I thank everyone for that.
Thank you. Mr. Pacheco?
I'm all set, no questions?
Unless there are any other questions, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will step down to second it. All those in favor, Mr. Pacheco?
Aye.
Chairman Hull is an aye. Thank you very much.